Hey, what's up? Jason Delgado here. It's a happy day for Charger fans. We've signed Njoku, tight end from the Cleveland Browns, to a 1-year deal worth up to $8 million. Uh, yeah, so we'll see how the contract's laid out. There may be some incentives, but it's a happy day for Charger fans. We now have a tight end room with Oronde Gadsden, Kohler from the Ravens, great blocking tight end who's athletic, who may be able to catch passes as well. Then you add athletic, talented David Njoku, great tight end. I saw one person, the Federation Chargers fan, question this signing because he talked about the tight ends of the past: Jared Cook, Jared Everett, Will Disley, Conklin. So some of these tight ends have not worked out too well. We've gotten excited over different tight ends, but Njoku's in a different spot than these other signings. We were asking those other tight ends to be the tight end one. We already have a tight end one now with Oronde Gadsden, young up and coming player. He showed brilliant flashes his rookie season. Very athletic. We know what he can do. He just needs to get the consistency down. He's going to get a lot more targets in the Mike McDaniel offense. And now you have added insurance, more depth in that tight end room that you needed. You couldn't go into the season with only two tight ends with Gadsden and Kohler. So you needed another tight end. You get a guy who's an X factor, who played in one of my favorite games ever at SoFi, 2021 Chargers versus Browns shootout, where the Chargers won in a thrilling 47-42 victory. David Njoku in that game had 149 yards, one touchdown, a 71-yard touchdown reception near the end of the game that could have won it for the Browns if not for the heroic efforts of Justin Herbert and Mike Williams that day, that led me to buy a Mike Williams jersey at the game at SoFi. So this is an exciting day for Charger fans. We get a guy who's got a ton of talent. In 2023, Njoku had his best season ever, almost 900 yards, 6 touchdowns, career highs in both. 88 receptions that year. So you get a guy who can carry the load if he has to, but he doesn't have to. I think Oronde Gadsden's still going to be tight end one. I think they're going to sprinkle in Njoku. He's just an added weapon. Depth, he's insurance. He can give Gadsden vet advice. He, you know, Njoku's been around for a while. So he can, even though Gadsden had a great rookie season, he can still learn more. And Njoku can provide that, besides being another red zone threat, besides being super athletic, besides being another guy who can be a lot of times. Njoku was the number one option for the whole Cleveland Browns offense with bad quarterback play. So you think about pairing him with Justin Herbert, with Mike McDaniel, the sky is the limit, really. And it doesn't have to be, because he can just be depth. So now you look around on the offense, there's so many weapons, so many different options for McDaniel, and he just loves that. Uh, Just the tight end room alone, you could go to any of these guys, even though Kohler hasn't, he's been behind guys in the depth chart with the Ravens, that they say this guy is athletic too and can catch passes. So you have so many options on the field. Wide receiver were stacked, running back were stacked, speed, skill at every position. It's almost an embarrassment of riches. You'd have to say that McDaniel has more weapons now than he had in Miami. He had top end talent when he had Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and HN and Mostert. He had a good little core there, but he didn't have a lot of depth behind those guys. If one of those guys went down, we have guys all over the field. You got Ladd, you've got the newly signed rookie Brennan Thompson, who's got 4.26 speed, like Tyreek Hill to stretch the field. You've got QJ back again, Trey Harris, who's a great route runner. We hope KLS develops into another downfield threat. There's so many options on this field. I would be surprised if the Chargers did not put up 30 points per game. The obvious question marks are at guard because we've got Cole Strange, a former first round pick by the New England Patriots, who was a bust, but he had a pretty good season in Miami last year, and that's why Mike McDaniel wanted him back. That's why Butch, the O-line coach, wanted him back. If they feel confident in this guy, then we should feel good about him until we see otherwise. And at left guard, we've got center Jake Slaughter, second round pick, super athletic. His tape looks great. That's obviously at center. He has to transition to guard. So we'll see how that goes. But we've got a ton of depth behind that. We have Trevor Penning. We've got a couple 6th-round rookies who show promise. So we'll see what happens. Maybe there's another signing at guard. We still have around $38 million to spend if we want to. There's not many holes left to plug. You think maybe a cornerback, maybe another edge if you're not comfortable about that fourth edge rusher. We hope Kyle Kennard steps up to be that fourth edge guy. You've still got Bud Dupree, who's good against the run, doesn't have much juice left in the pass rush game. So that'll be an interesting battle. But all around this team, there's more depth than I've ever seen on a Chargers roster. I've been a fan since the San Diego days. I rooted for the Chargers in '94 when we went to the Super Bowl. Junior Seau with Stan Humphries, Natrone means business. I've loved this team forever, and I can't remember a more stacked team on the coaching and on the player side that could get us to the Super Bowl. So I think there should be Super Bowl expectations with this team because adding a guy like Njoku to take a phrase from the Chargers a few years ago when they kept saying they were all in. This is the Chargers all in. We're stacking the team. We're going after what we need. We still have 38 million bucks around that to make trades, to sign guys. If we see in training camp, if we see there's a weakness, if there's an injury that happens, we have the depth now, but now we can go out, get a trade for a guy that we need to. So what do you guys think? Are you as excited as I am for this season? Do you believe that we could be a Super Bowl team now after I know the start of free agency, Charger fans get all butthurt and out of whack when we don't go signing guys. That's not Joe Ortiz's style. He's not the big flashy spender. He does it through the draft. He does it through smart free agent signings. He does it throughout the year. So what do you guys think about this roster now? Is it Super Bowl worthy? Drop a comment. Let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys think. But I really believe it is. I think we should, if we don't score 30 points a game while having a great defense with Chris O'Leary leading the way, that is an X factor too. We didn't have O'Leary. O'Leary was with the Chargers before, so he's familiar. That's good. The coaches have faith in him. So we have to see how he does in terms of how great Minter was. And we know Minter was great. So let's see how O'Leary does. I have a good feeling about him. But you replace Owe with Mesidor, which I think is actually a step up for the Chargers. And this team is stacked. Just all the way around. If we have injuries on the O line this time, We've got a great rookie tackle now who can step in. We're 4 tackles deep, so hopefully we're not down to the sixth offensive tackle like we were last year. You get Slater and Alt back, huge. You get Biotish at center. You've got a great backup center now in Slaughter, Sergeant Slaughter, as I call him. And we're going to see him at left guard. And man, if this team can keep Herbert upright, uh, you're talking about he should have an MVP season. Seriously. With all the weapons that he has, with McDaniel calling plays, Herbert needs to have an MVP type season. And he did last season. Let's face it, guys. The numbers may have been down, but we saw the punishment he took. We saw him being Superman and taking this team on his back to 11 wins when it had no business getting into the playoffs with all the guys that were missing last season on that offensive line. This Charger team overachieved humongously. And I know we're all disappointed about what happened in the playoffs, but all the moves this Charger team has made is trying to ensure that that doesn't happen again, that we have an offensive play caller genius who can make things easy on Herbert, who wants to make him an MVP level player, who's going to find easy outlets. You're going to get easy passes to the running backs, to the flats. You're going to scheme up. McDaniel's going to scheme up plays that go for easy touchdowns that we didn't have last year with Greg Roman, where everything was such a battle on offense. It was hard to do, to get a few yards in the Greg Roman offense. And that's going to change drastically with all these weapons that McDaniel has now. And don't forget about the huge upgrade in blocking, the guys around him, Ingold, the fullback, who could be, I mean, we haven't had a amazing great fullback since you think to the days of Lorenzo Neal. If Ingold can be that, man, and then you add a great blocking tight end in Charlie Kohler, this team is going to be dangerous in every way, in the run, in the pass, in the deep pass. And we've been lacking that because we didn't have the protection for Herbert to go deep. We didn't have as many speed guys as we've had in the past. You think back to when Herbert was young and you had guys like Tyrone Johnson and Jalen Guyton streaking down the field, and Brennan Thompson can be that. I know Njoku's getting up there in age. He's still super athletic, still a guy you can kind of throw the jump ball to, like Mike Williams. And nobody could do it like Mike Williams, but Njoku's 6'4", great red zone target, and he can still shake free. I mean, he had a down year last year, about 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. A lot of that was due to the Browns having a new rookie tight end, Harold Fannin, who took a lot of the targets away, and Njoku was injured a little bit too. So you don't need Njoku to be the number one guy at this stage of his career. He can be a tight end 2, a tight end 3, but still the defense has to account for him. And that's exactly what McDaniel wants. He wanted all these weapons around the field. Keaton, as a running back, you have to account for him. Brennan Thompson, all these speed guys, all these weapons you have all along the field. Defenses are going to have to cover every inch of the field, which is McDaniel's plan, because they're so fast. They can get to any spot. Ladd with the precision cuts, routes, Trey with the precision routes. You have a dangerous offense that you've never had with Jim Harbaugh as the coach. It's been so vanilla, and that was by design. We wanted to be a run ball control team, and we can still do that. McDaniel is still going to run the ball a lot. He's still going to want to control the clock, but you're going to have these explosive plays that are going to put teams on their heels. That if we are down in a game, we can put on the acceleration and who knows, have a 47-42 shootout like we did with the Browns in 2021, where Njoku went off for 149 yards. You know, that was my favorite game I've ever been to at SoFi until the Chargers beat the Eagles last season with Tony Jefferson getting the INT at the end of the game. Those are my two favorite games at SoFi. But guys, what what do you guys think? Are you as optimistic as I am right now about these Chargers? Do you think we have what it takes to go to the Super Bowl? If we don't do it now, when are we going to do it, guys? Seventh year for Herbert. He needs to show that he can win in the playoffs. It's starting to become a mental thing. So we're going all in with the coaching, with the players. We have everything we need right now. It's an exciting time. The defense. Now you have R.J. Barrett. Uh, is it R.J. Barrett? Barrett, big defensive tackle. You can rotate in there now. New safety, Genesis Smith. So Unk's getting up there in age. Hopefully, Genesis Smith can be another guy you rotate in there. The corner room, we lost Benjamin St. Juice. We may still need one guy there. We'll see how Eric Rogers and Nico Reed, if one of those guys steps up, how they looked so good in training camp and preseason. But where do you see the weakness on this Charger team? Who's gonna exploit this Charger team if we're firing on all cylinders? If we're, knock on wood, if we're healthy? Uh, the talent is everywhere on the field, and the coaching is top level at every position. So the Super Bowl's in LA this year. It'd be so fun if it was Chargers versus Rams. The battle for LA finally getting decided on the field in the Super Bowl. I, I would just love it, guys. I would love it. Uh, Man, I've been a Charger fan for so long. I, I'm not gonna lie. I usually am optimistic in the off season. Who isn't? Every NFL team fan, except for if you're a Jets fan or a Browns fan, one of these downtrodden, horrible teams. And the Chargers have had a lot of bad luck, a lot of bad injury luck. But coming into the season, I can't remember a Chargers team that's been this stacked at every position. So completing that tight end room by adding Njoku, what other moves do you want to see this Charger team make during the offseason? Should we sign one of these veteran guards, a Ziegler, one of these guys to help stabilize the position? I think that would be good. I think that would be good if we can get one more veteran guard in there who you can trust. And if he goes down, even you have all this depth right now with the rookies. So you love to see it. E- Even tackle, this tackle that we drafted in the fourth round, 6'8", bigger than Joe Alt. I heard talk of maybe even trying to kick him inside the guard, seeing if that works. So that's intriguing. There's a lot of intriguing questions about this team. Can Junior Colston make a contribution and come back healthy and be that linebacker two next to Deion Henley and be a leader on this team? We need things like that. Can Kyle Kennard step up, be the edge four? These are the things that a Super Bowl team does. If we can get these kind of contributions where you don't necessarily expect it, or because of injuries, because of whatever, you need these type of guys who are drafted with talent to step up. Like we know that they can. So what do you guys think of this signing? Do you think it almost completes this roster like I do? That we have one of the top tight end rooms in the league now. I want to hear your comments. I know it's a weekday, it's a Monday. It's hard to jump in there, but we're live right now. But hey, even on the replay, let me know your comments. I'll let you know what I think. But just excited to be a Charger fan right now. I can't wait till July comes around and we can go to training camp. And I'm getting those highlight videos for you guys that I always deliver. I'll put them on YouTube. I'll put some on Twitter there. But it's so exciting to watch this team and to watch it grow. In the third year of Harbaugh, there's a lot of heat now because there's not a playoff win yet. We've seen back-to-back 11-win seasons, tough, hard wins. Uh, the hope is that Mike McDaniel makes it easier on Herbert, that he's not getting hit, that he's getting the ball out quick like Tua did on the way to a 5,000-yard season. And we know Herbert is leagues better than Tua. So if Tua can get a 5,000-yard season with McDaniel, you better believe Herbert can do that with a ton of touchdowns. So, and I've been putting a few old videos up on the channel. Go check them out. Herbert speaking for the first time in front of fans at SoFi about his rookie season. I put that video up. Herbert in training camp with a deep bomb touchdown pass to Tyrone Johnson. Check that out too. Hopefully that's what we see now with Brennan Thompson. I was watching a video with great former NFL wide receiver Steve Smith, and he was breaking down Brennan Thompson, saying he reminded him of Tyreek Hill, but great route running, speed, obviously. The questions he had was tracking the ball deep, so that'll be interesting. That's something we got to keep an eye on in camp. Is he able to track those long bombs from Herbert and make the catches? We've seen some receivers struggle with that. Understandable, because Herbert throws a rocket. So, man, I'm excited about this team. I'm already having visions of the victory parade and being there with all you Charger fans and doing it up good like Charger fans would, unlike the Rams fans who had some pathetic victory that parade nobody showed up to. Us Charger fans would show out like we did to the Houston Texans game this last season. We'll be there in the playoffs. This is the year where we better win the AFC West and be the number one seed for the playoffs, to get home field, to get Herbert that first playoff win, to get him rolling, to beat the. I still feel like the AFC is wide open. The Patriots beat us. They went to the Super Bowl. Great season. Denver had a great season until their Bo Nix got injured. But we know we can beat Denver. We know we can beat the Patriots. These aren't unbeatable teams like some of those Chiefs teams were, like other dynasties have been. The NFL is wide open right now. Seattle still a great team. They lost their running back to the Chiefs. Are the Chiefs going to run their new Kenneth Walker running back into the ground? They're going to have to put a lot of pressure on him because there's still a lot of holes on that team. So, what is your who do you think our biggest rival is? Is it the Broncos to win the division, to win the AFC? You think there's another team like the Bengals who are going to challenge us? The Ravens now with Jesse Minter. It, it's going to be a very interesting season, guys. I can't wait to be there at SoFi with everyone. There was a graphic that shows all the Chargers offense now. You look at Omari and Hampton, Njoku, Rondé Gadsden, Ladd, Trey, QJ, Mitchell, all this speed and skill around the team. You gotta, and this is a question I posed last time, but it's a fair question. Do you bring Keenan Allen back? The people on the last live stream wanted Keenan back. He's a Charger legend. I get it. But you have so many weapons already on this team that does Keenan Allen still fit in? Do you wait in case there's some kind of injury on offense to sign Keenan? Um, and there's so much youth on this offense besides Njoku. Do you does it stunt some of the guys' growth if Keenan comes back? We saw Ladd stunted last year. So that's a tough question for Joe because you have so much depth there all around on offense. Do you want to add another older guy there who can? Hey, Keenan's still one of the top route runners in the game. He'll always be. He can get open at any time. You need third and Keenan. He'll get you that first down. The argument always is Ladd will get you yards after the catch. If you're given that same pass to Ladd, he might get you 15 extra yards, where Keenan will just fall down at this stage of his career. There was a video by ML Football that showed Keenan Allen like 7 years ago against the Cowboys, saying, "Hey, this guy is still unsigned with him catching this deep pass." Like, no, that's not Keenan anymore. He doesn't have that type of speed anymore. He's still the great route runner, but he's getting up there. And hey, everyone would love to see Keenan win a Super Bowl with the Chargers. What would his role be though now with so much on this team when now you add Brennan Thompson, when you're still trying to work in KLS, you add David Njoku. There's a saying in basketball, you only have one ball. And that's how this Charger team is now. It's so stacked on offense. You only got one ball. Where's it going to go to? And defenses are going to have a nightmare trying to figure out where the ball is going to go to and how McDaniel's going to scheme things up and get so many guys open all around the field. It's you've got this offensive play calling genius, and and everybody, I reposted that one by Derwin James today with the lightning bolts, excited about David Njoku signing. Eh, Derwin's covered all the best tight ends in the game, and he knows that Njoku is one of the top ones. He's had to cover him. He covers them all just because Derwin's that kind of guy you put on a Kelsey, on a Njoku. So he's hyped about this, and he knows the talent that's coming to this team. So I'm not worried about say, are you worried if Njoku's a step slower, if injuries have taken a little toll? No, because he's depth. He's not a guy you're going to be relying on for the total team offense like the Cleveland Browns did with. He was the entire passing offense, while you'd go to Nick Chubb on the ground. It'd be Chubb and Njoku carrying the whole team. So now he doesn't have to carry a bad team on his back. He can be a foundational piece of a championship team. It's just I I can't think of a better Chargers offense right now. You think back to the days when we had the three running backs, when we had LT, Turner, and Sproles. That was great. We've had Vincent Jackson, great wide receiver, Antonio Gates. We've had some pretty great offenses, but to see it all around there with the play calling, with the genius that is Mike McDaniel, who can turn this into a Rams type of offense where there's so many ways we can beat you all over the field creatively. It's exciting to be a Charger fan right now. And yeah, just Let me know what you guys think. I'll put your comment up here. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. Yeah, I know you're probably busy at work right now. You know, it's hard to chime in, but hey, uh, I love to see it, guys. I love to see it. What better time to be than to be a Charger fan than right now? You just hope there's not some kind of natural disaster or something that stops us from seeing this season. You know, I shouldn't even put that out there, but guys, you know, I think I'm going to be going soon if we don't have some comments in here. But I'll be back soon for. I want to do. I know I have all kinds of different followers on here besides Charger fans. I want to do a live stream about San Diego Comic Con. I'm doing press for Comic Con. I'm excited about that. We're thinking about Hall H possibilities already, so I want to do a live stream about what could be in Hall H at Comic Con this year. Excited to see that. Maybe talk a little Mortal Kombat 2. I like the movie. It's a fun movie. So I'll be back again to do a live stream about those things after I do a little more research on the films that could be coming to Hall H. Love talking movies, Chargers, Comic Con, all these things, guys. So let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment. If you think the Chargers can't win the Super Bowl this year, tell me why. Do you think the guard play is going to do us in by not? And do you think if we sign one of these veteran guards, do you think that could be the difference in a Super Bowl run and keeping Herbert upright so he doesn't get sacked 50 plus times, third most sacks in the entire league? We saw Herbert taking those brutal hits in the New England game. Every Charger fan was disgusted by that. Nobody wants to see a repeat of that. We want to see MVP Herbert slinging the ball around the whole yard with all the speed he has now, with the protection of Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater, Tyler Biotish, Tyler Badass, Jake Sergeant Slaughter, Cole Strange, hopefully doing a fine job. Who's going to beat us if the offensive line can hold up? If the defense can stay what it was, but now adding Mesidor, possibly even being an upgrade, with Barrett getting some push on the inside, I'm excited about Barrett. If we can get push on the inside and then we have the rush, and you can kick Mesidor inside too to rush the passer inside. So there's so many different combinations. There's so many different things we can do with this Charger team that we couldn't do before. And it's funny because Charger fans were so down after those initial days of free agency. We're, we operate differently now, guys. We operate through the draft. We operate year round where trades can happen, where we can get a guy like Owe if we see we have a deficiency. Offensive line is harder to do. It's a lot easier to do with guards. So if we're struggling at guard, we can make a trade at guard. You're not going to get a really good center or tackle during the year. So it's great. We fortified both those positions and we have depth at guard that we can try different combinations if that doesn't work. But you can still, guards are a lot easier to get on the offensive line. So if that's the biggest weakness on our team, if corner's the biggest weakness on our team, we can trade for one. And Joe Ortiz has shown he's willing to do that with 38 million bucks. We can get anyone we want. We can get a superstar. We could still add a AJ Brown if the Patriots don't scoop him up with a better offer. We could still add another great player, which is scary to think about because you have the depth, you have the star power at every position. Where would you guys want to add? Tell me in your comments. Is it corner? Is it guard? Is it some other spot? Safety? What do you think we still have a weakness in? Because I, it's hard for me to see one right now with all the coaching and all the talent that's on this team now. Can Njoku be that player he was in 2023? That's that's scary to think about. If you have a guy who can go for 900 yards and 6 touchdowns as your tight end two, um, insane, insane weapons all around. So I just love what Joe and Jim have done with this team. Kudos to them both. To Jim for firing his good buddy Greg Roman. He knew it wasn't working. He knew it was time for a change. He went out, got the best OC you could get, Mike McDaniel, who, let's face it, Miami had a bad team last year, and they still put up almost 30 points on a great Chargers defense, almost beat us. Took heroics at the very end from Justin Herbert from a Miami team that had no business being in that game. And now you give them all the talent that's on this Charger team. It's insane, guys. It's insane. So let me know what you guys think. I can't wait to see this season, to see the training camp. Hope to see you guys there. And man, what else can you say about this Chargers team? It's Drop those comments in, guys. Let me know. Like and subscribe if you like this content. Um, I have a brand new baby boy, my second boy, so it's harder to do these things, but I try to drop in and do the live stream when I can, when there's big news. So anytime there's big Charger news, I'm gonna try to hop on here and talk to you guys. I love talking to my fellow Charger fans. Love all you guys. You know, even if we have different opinions on things, it's fine, guys. We're all Charger fans. We're all bolted up, bolts up or shut up, as I coined on Twitter. There, people were saying I should have shirts of that. That would be fun. That would be fun. But man, I'm getting ahead of myself. Already having visions of that victory parade. Man, and hey, go Lakers too. Here's hoping they don't get swept tonight, facing a great OKC team. But man, uh, this Chargers team gives me hope. Gives me a lot of hope. Am I a fool to think this because of all the heartbreaking injuries we've had, the devastating defeats we've had at the last second? Maybe, maybe I am. But we have warriors. We got Philip Rivers playing on a torn ACL in the AFC Championship game, almost beating Tom Brady by himself. Well, maybe not by himself. He needed his team to do it. Marlon McCree stopped that from happening. But we need the Chargers to step up this year. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that the heat's going to be on Coach Harbaugh. Even though Harbaugh is a championship winning coach in Michigan, the heat is on for him to win a Super Bowl, to just to win a playoff game, for Justin Herbert to finally win a playoff game. It's time, guys. The time is now. We're all in. We're making the signings, getting the coaching staff. We finally have a great offensive line coach with Butch. So even if we have questions about these guards, they're going to elevate their play. The one thing that I have seen that's concerning is the Shanahan coaching tree doesn't value the guard position, so they don't go out and spend a lot on guards. They spend the money on skill players. So you hope that that's not a big weakness by not valuing the guard position. That our guys do enough to keep Herbert from getting hit, and everyone knows that's what all Charger fans want. So thanks, guys. Bolt up. I'll be back for San Diego Comic-Con talk sometime soon. But let me know what you think in the comments, like and subscribe, all that. Oh, I just hit over 2 million views on YouTube. Thank you so much, guys. Means a lot to me. Thank you for the support. Never envisioned I'd get 2 million views. Insane. So shout out to everyone who's watched and supported and who likes and reshares all of this content. Love you guys. I'll be back with more movies, Chargers, Comic Con, all this stuff. Bolt up. Peace.